The Hunt for Gollum. I'm actually quite late for this one, but still, it's set for a 2026 release date on January 1st, apparently, according to the internet, so I don't really know if that's true. Let's talk about Gollum's trail, shall we? His route. So Gollum spent about 500 years in the Misty Mountains after he was excommunicated or just banished from his original family, his people, by his grandmother, who was the matriarch of that family, of that group of people, because she wanted peace, because everyone was just he was just getting hassled, and he was hassling everyone else using the ring to sneak up and learn secrets. And he started to become all weird and talking to himself like you know him well enough for. He started to hate the light, hate everything about it, and he just wanted to be left alone. So he found the Misty Mountains and stayed there for about 500 years, living off fish and orcs when they ever come by near him, so anything he could find. Obviously the events of The Hobbit happened, where he met Bilbo and they had the riddles in the dark, and then everything with the ring. Now, he didn't actually leave the Misty Mountains for about another 3 years, because he was just sort of pining over it. He didn't want to leave. He was still scared of the light, basically. But then he hated the ring so much, it kept him from going, but also then he loved it. He was obsessed with it. His life was entwined with the ring. So he left and went hunting for Bilbo, obviously the trail was cold, but somehow he found himself at Lake Town, and obviously everyone knew about him because of what happened in Dale and Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. So he found a bit more information about him. Obviously losing the trail again, he travelled around Anduin, the Vales of Anduin, for about 30 years. And then after that, he sort of went too much into Mordor, either the borders or too much far in, where he was captured by Sauron's forces. So I'm not really sure why Sauron actually interrogated him personally. Maybe he saw that effect that the ring had on him. So he's just for some reason he must be affected by it. So he actually did the horrible things to him personally, and then after he got all the information he could out of him, let him go. Some say that he just let him go on purpose so they could follow him, because why else would they I'm pretty sure he let him go on purpose so they could follow him, because otherwise why didn't Sauron it would have been easy. Whilst Gollum was going through the dead marshes, Aragorn then finds him. Over the next 50 days they travel together, and Aragorn does state that he was not nice to Gollum at all. They hated each other, obviously, they just didn't get along, and he was not gentle with him at all. So on their travels they headed towards, gave him to the elves of Mirkwood, where Thranduil was king there. He was imprisoned, and that's when Gandalf was interrogating him to find out his story, his history, which Gollum in the end obviously gives to Gandalf as well. So that's how you know his story about how he originally got the ring, and how he did it, what he did to his buddy. Now over time, the elves took pity on Smeagol, on Gollum, and they'd take him out at night on a leash. But then one night they let him up in a tree, and that night is when orcs attacked, and so he was able to escape because he wouldn't come down, and they were trying to get him down, but then the orcs came and everything happened, and he was able to escape. Heading towards Moria, he got into the caves but wasn't able to get out. That was around August, I think, before the Fellowship arrived in Moria. He tried to get through the doors of Durin but couldn't, so he just monged there, to be honest, figuring out what to do next, I guess. Anyway, don't forget to follow if you've gotten this far. I do videos like this every day. There was also actually an original film made by fans. It's supposed to be one really, really good. Almost 10 million people saw it, apparently. Made in 2009.